Jeez.
You Make It, We Mock It is where our own viewers create some of the most insane 12-gauge shotgun slugs ever imagined. They're so wild looking that we have to remind people that these are not created by AI. On stage tonight, we have another beautiful creation by Dice Man of Texas. This is Dice Man's 6th entry to You Make It, We Mock It, and they just keep getting wilder and wilder. How wild, you ask? Well, this one scared me so much I was ready to pack it in after only shooting 3 rounds of these things. Let's take a look at Dice Man's design notes. He calls these things the Ballistic Ballsack, by the way. Now, first of all, this should have been a warning to me. It has an all magnesium body to reduce overall weight. Yeah, magnesium. You know that stuff that catches fire super easy that you can't put out with water? So today we're going to find out if using magnesium to make a shotgun slug out of is a good idea or a really great idea. This magnesium monstrosity uses a modified Diablo shape for stability. The Diablo shape is what you would normally see with air rifle pellets. And this is a really big one made out of titanium. Now this is what the slug looks like taken all apart. It has 3 cavities in the nose and 1 very large cavity in the tail. So it's essentially hollow. In the base we have a 10mm stainless steel core ball, and that's attached to a stainless steel plate. And then in the 3 cavities in the nose we have 6 M6 tungsten carbide nose balls. Now originally in this prototype the nose cap was made out of brass, but he decided to make those out of lead to give it more nose weight. And then of course the nose cap is held on not by a regular screw, it's held on with a titanium screw because he had a few dollars left. That's a quote. Now inside the tail cavity there might be some titanium powder, magnesium chips, and other stuff that we can't talk about. Now at 2 inches long, this is a very long slug and takes very compact components to make it all fit into that 3-inch hole. And of course my part of this project and challenge is to get the recipe right so that these function and don't, just completely screw up. Now I was assured there was no blanks or primers or detonators or anything like that inside. And with that said, let's go out and test these things out. Okay, we got a very hot day out here today, and luckily there's a little bit of a breeze. I'm just hoping that doesn't, come through over the microphones, and oh, that's annoying, right? But anyway, we're out here with the Ballsack, the Ballistic Ballsack, and we want to try try it out of a smooth bore. So we got the smooth bore installed on Danny's Mossberg 500, and we want to see if we can hit the lead plate with it. These are all loaded the same, 32 grains of long shot. We should be seeing velocities in the 1400s or so, I think, if my calculations are right. And still plenty fast, but we're not pushing them too hard. We try to push them too hard, then we might have gas seal failures and sabot failures and all kinds of other things. There's a limit to, especially with the sabot round, a limit to how hard you can push them. So these things are massive, they're long, and but they have that Diablo shape, which I'm hoping will allow it to be stable. They're also nose heavy with that lead cap on the nose. Not sure what those tungsten balls are going to do. We'll be able to see once we hit the lead plate. So let's do it. Okay, shot number 1, smooth bore. What the heck? Smooth bore. On this first shot out of a smooth bore, we had partial stability. Not the best stability I've ever seen, but it still hit nose first. But as far as accuracy goes, it wasn't that bad at all. This was shot at about 20 yards. Now, I have to admit I was a little bit startled at the reaction of this thing. This was the most reactive slug we've ever tested, believe it or not. And it just gets crazier. May not be the best candidate for a smooth bore, So it'll be interesting to see if the rifling will improve things. But look at that. We could see the 3 balls. There's actually 6 balls in there, but we could see 3 of them right there. But you know, accuracy wasn't bad despite the kind of less than ideal stability. But I think we'll see better things when we shoot it through a rifling. Okay, next we have a 3/16 mild steel plate. A lot of lead slugs will make a big old dent in that thing, but they won't penetrate it. I'm pretty sure this thing has the power to poke a hole through that thing. We're aiming right at the middle of that sticker. Now we're now using the rifle barrel, so let's see how that does. Spew! Man, these things are ferocious. So 1421, right about where I said it was going to be. So that's pretty good. I have restored my faith in my recipes. Spew! Using spin stabilization, we had a much better flight this time. Accuracy was quite a bit better too. We still have burning magnesium, titanium powder, and it's amazing I didn't start a grass fire at all that day. But I was prepared with a shovel, water, fire extinguisher, all kinds of stuff. That was nuts. So we have, of course, a hole through the plate. Not too bad. Don't worry, be happy. And we got another, oh no, darn it. Engage. What the heck happened there? And just like that, things got a little bit scary. It appears we had a ballsack premature eruption going on. I carefully examined the gun and barrel for any kind of internal or external damage, and much to my surprise, there was none. Don't worry. Be happy. Hey, that was kind of cool. Now, as the slug hits the head, we see a tiny little flash, and then a time delay action from that 10mm ball at the base of it, slowly, in relative terms, slamming forward and igniting the titanium powder. I've got to say that is some very impressive engineering to make that happen. And I might add that these slugs are not for sale. They will never be for sale. They are simply prototypes. Now, if these had a purpose, they would probably be an excellent anti-Zeppelin round, or it would probably take out an FW-190 if you hit it in the gas tank. Not too bad. A little bit off, though. See the track going through there, exited. The weird thing is you saw that big flash after it left, like kind of a time delay action there. Up next is our vegan boneless meat target, otherwise known as the wet catalogs. These suckers have been soaking for about 3 or 4 days. Los! Man, oh man, oh my gosh. I don't think we've ever seen that kind of devastation before. Los! Definitely not the most accurate shot. We do have some high pressure issues, sabot damage and stuff like that, but a hit's a hit. And if that was a wild boar, it would be as dead as last year's love. It's just my opinion, but I think that is the most destructive wet catalog test we've ever done. That thing came apart like a $2 suit. I don't even know where to begin with this mess. Look at the size of that cavity there. That pretty much continued all the way through. Out the back. I've never seen a slug destroy the wet magazines like that before. Oh my gosh. Next we'll see what it does against a body armor panel. Should be pretty interesting. Jeez. Jeez. I think it's safe to say that the Ballistic Ballsack is not quite ready for prime time. A little bit unpredictable. Now you may be thinking that it blew up in the barrel, but it didn't. The thin walls of the magnesium kind of center section crushed on this one and created a huge shower of sparks. So yeah, part of the problem is I was pushing them a little too hard. Okay, a lot of sparks flew out of the barrel on that one. Don't know what happened there. It basically went through the Kevlar. That was a good little section of Kevlar there too. As ratty as that vest looks, went right through the Kevlar and out the back. Nasty. Okay, the aluminum plate. Wow, these things are so cool. 1343. Wow. Now remember, there are no explosives in these things. It's just the reactive metals just flashing from the very high-speed impacts. This one was really accurate. It was wobbling around a little bit. Now, I definitely bear a lot of responsibility for the partial failures. The slugs did pretty well despite that. Later on, I'll show you the gas seals that I found, the sabos that I found that are all cooked and melted and preventing good engagement with the rifling, and so we don't get great spin on a lot of shots. But this was just an insane slug, and I'm kind of glad the testing is over now. I'm convinced that you never want to break into Dice Man's house. Guy's a monster. Okay, so see that it hit right here, the 3 ball impacts, the ball sack. Aluminum is very tough. The best we could do is usually just give it a pock mark, but I love that ring it makes when you hit it. Jeez. Well, definitely not the most impressive gel shot we ever did. I mean, the slug shot really low, made it through the entire length of the gel block. But again, we had that premature eruption of the slug. I'm pretty sure you've never seen a ballistic gel shot quite like this before. Yeah, that one hit really low, and see how it broke apart here, went all the way through, landed in our vest, and that's what's left of it. Let me show you a close-up of that. Maybe magnesium is not the best projectile. Still, some of the balls are still in there. Lead's all gone. That thin wall might be giving way and causing it to go off. I don't think there's any, like 22 blanks or anything in these things, believe it or not. That's the crazy part. But, that thin wall might be, being crushed and throwing out all those sparks. Little sketchy, though. I have one of these slugs left, so we're going to try it on a big chunk of wood. It's like a 6x8 or something like that. So let's see if this one behaves. Los! Los! And for our final shot, a picture-perfect slug performance there. Perfect stability, incredible accuracy, just hit dead center where I was aiming. And it still had that time delay action. Now, mind you, we had a couple failures, but no test goes without a failure or two, right? This shows that we're pushing these things to their maximum limit. Now, this was definitely a sketchy slug, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I just want to remind you to rate the video, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whichever you like. I just don't want to tell you what to do, right? Through that board, of course, and it activated whatever is inside, the magnesium or titanium or whatever it is. But this is the problem we're having. I found a couple of these. You remember what the gas seal looked like at the beginning? It's supposed to look like that still, but you can see it's getting blown out. Hot gases are just cooking the sabos, absolutely just melting them. So we're not getting good engagement with the rifling on every shot. Some of them are good, some are bad. So that's the problem. Just loaded them a little too hot, and it's probably also a little too hot out here too. That just softens the plastic a little more. It makes the powder burn a little hotter and faster. And should have backed off the powder. I did not think it was going to be 100 degrees today, but there you go. Now, in case you have not seen Diceman's other earlier slug designs, I have created a playlist of just his stuff. It's definitely well worth watching all his other designs and seeing how he has progressed. I'm kind of nervous about what he has coming next, though. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day, and we will see you next time.